Good evening, students. In our previous segment, that is in the live lecture yesterday, we talked of the basic classification of the fungi, the sexual reproduction mode as well as asexual reproduction mode, and all the things related to the kingdom fungi. Now, today in this segment, we are going to start with the four major classifications of kingdom fungi. Right? So, four major classifications of kingdom fungi includes Phycomycetes. Mycetes word is used for fungi. So, Phycomycetes. Then the second one is Ascomycetes, the sac fungi. Right. The third one is Basidomycetes, the mushroom fungi. Basidomycetes. And the fourth one is Deuteromycetes. Right, so these are the four basic classification of kingdom fungi, that is Phyco, Asco, Basido as well as Deuteromycetes. Now let us discuss Phycomycetes as well as Ascomycetes in this segment. When I am saying that let us discuss, that means the basic features, the key features, the characteristics of Phyco as well as Ascomycetes. So let us start with Phycomycetes. So first of all, the habitat. So basically, habitat of Phycomycetes is aquatic, but they also grow on the decaying woods and the damp places. That's why it is also called as the wood fungi. So first is habitat is mostly aquatic habitat, or it is, you can write simply, mostly aquatic. They also grow on the decaying wood, that is the moist as well as damp places. Mostly aquatic, decaying wood, moist and damp places. And few examples are available in the Phycomycetes which are living as parasitic fungi, right? That means they use a host for their growth and development. So habitat is mostly aquatic, they grow in the decaying wood, moist as well as damp places, and they may be available in parasitic form. Right? We will see the example. The most common example in the Phycomycetes is albugo fungi, which is the common fungi on the mustard seeds, the leaves of the mustard. Now talking about the mycelium. Mycelium, again two types, septate as well as aseptate is seen, and we know the technical term for the aseptate is cenocytic mycelium. So mycelium may be septate, or you can say cenocytic. Cenocytic means the aseptate form of mycelia. And yesterday only we have discussed all these basic things regarding mycelia, hyphae and all these things. Now, reproduction mainly asexual using spores, right? And the spores are produced within a sac-like structure or a bag-like structure, which we call it as the sporangium or sporangia. So asexual reproduction takes place. Asexual reproduction takes place by, again, motile as well as non-motile spores, which are also called as zoospores or aplanospores. So asexual reproduction takes place by zoospores, which are motile spores, and aplanospores, which are non-motile spores. So this is all about the reproduction, habitat and other details. Now, where the spores are formed within a bag or a pouch like structure, that structure is called as sporangium. So spores are formed, or they are stored in a sac like structure, which we call it as sporangium. Sporangium. So this is very important, sac like structure, which we call it as sporangium. Right? Now this zoospores, which are formed, of course, they will form by the fusion of the gametes, because it is again the reproduction only. So the gametes may be again of two types, same or different. That means isogametes or anisogametes. So zygospores is formed by fusion of two gametes. Now these two gametes may be similar, may be dissimilar. If the gametes are similar, they are called as isogametes. If the gametes are dissimilar, they are called as anisogametes. Right? So this is all about the gametes. Now examples, which is very important: Mucor, Rhizopus, and Albugo-fungi. So examples includes Mucor, Albugo, and Rhizopus. Now Rhizopus is most commonly called as the bread mold, the fungi of the bread. So Rhizopus is most commonly called as bread mold. Mucor is also called as the dung fungi, which grows on the dung. So Mucor is called as dung fungi, Rhizopus the bread mold or the bread fungi, and Albugo is the parasitic fungi. Here we have written may be available in the parasitic form, and the example is Albugo. What is Albugo? It is nothing but a parasitic fungi on mustard. So parasitic fungi on mustard. It is parasitic fungi on mustard. Right? So this is all about the Phycomycetes. What is important to note here is habitat, reproduction modes, how mycelia is arranged, and the examples. That's it. And you should be thorough with what is the another name of the Mucor, what is Albugo, what is Rhizopus. All these things you should be thorough with. Now the next classification that we are going to see in this segment is Ascomycetes, which is commonly called as sac or bag fungi. So second is Ascomycetes. So Ascomycetes is commonly called as sac fungi. Commonly called as sac fungi. Now if we are talking about the cellular structure, commonly, majority wise, Ascomycetes are multicellular in nature. So they are mostly multicellular. And the example includes the penicillium fungi. But exception is also available. In Ascomycetes, there is one example of the fungi which is acting as a unicellular fungi, and we all know the most common unicellular fungi is yeast. So they are mostly multicellular, that is penicillium, and they may be unicellular also, that is yeast. And the most common yeast which is available in this Ascomycetes is called as Sarco, that is S. cerevisiae, Saccharomyces cerevisiae yeast. So most common is called as S. cerevisiae, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Most commonly it is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that is yeast. It is also written as S. cerevisiae. Cerevesiae. S stands for Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Now again, they may be saprophytic, they may be parasitic, and they may be coprophilous. Right? So this is, we are talking about the habitat only. They may be saprophytic, parasitic, and they may be coprophilous. Coprophilous, they are fungi which grows on the dung. So they may be coprophilous. So saprophytic, parasitic, as well as coprophilous. Again, mycelia is septate and branched also. So majority of the things are matching with Phycomycetes. So mycelium is septate and branched also. Now in this, the spores are stored in the sporangium. In the Ascomycetes, there is the asca, a bag-like structure which stores the spores. So here also asexual spores are conidial spores, which are called as conidiophores. So asexual spores are called as conidial spores or conidiophores. Right? So asexual is this. Then sexual spores are called as ascospores. Right? So again, mode of reproduction is again by sexual spores as well as asexual spores. Asexual spores are conidiophores or conidiospores. Now sexual spores, right? They are called as asco, as per the name of the fungi. Ascospores, which are stored in the asca or asci, a bag-like structure. So sexual spores are called as ascospores, and they are produced, of course it is an example of endogenous spores. They are produced in, or we can say to be more specific, produced endogenously in asci, that is the sac or the bag-like structure. Example, we have already seen the penicillium fungi, that is the Penicillium notata, most common, unicellular, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, yeast. Few more examples are Claviceps, Neurospora as well as Aspergillus. So let us write examples which are more important. So Aspergillus, Aspergillus, then Claviceps and Neurospora, right? Neurospora, that is the Neurospora crassa. But according to NCERT, let us stick to Neurospora only. But for your knowledge, it is Neurospora crassa fungi. Neurospora is important for biochemical and genetical work. So Neurospora is used as a model organism for biochemical and genetical work. And the most common example that I can give you regarding the Neurospora crassa is the development or the given one gene, one enzyme hypothesis. It was given on Neurospora crassa fungi only. One gene, one enzyme hypothesis. One gene, one enzyme hypothesis. That means one gene is responsible for the production of one enzyme, that is one protein. But later on this hypothesis was modified and this was first discovered in the Neurospora crassa. One more thing is there, that is morels and buffels of these Ascomycetes are delicious and they are edible fungi. Right? So I am writing it here. Morels and buffels, they are edible in Ascomycetes. So this is all about Phycomycetes as well as Ascomycetes. You have to remember the basic features in the shortcut methods and just the examples. Now tomorrow when we have the live lecture, we will discuss Basidiomycetes as well as Deuteromycetes.